Good morning. All right, it's a good Monday morning. Time to another week to go back to work and be back on my old team again. Sort of interesting. For a month, I was selected to be part of a task force that was helping out with some stuff. We finished, and now we get to go. I get to go back to doing normal development stuff again. Also, last night I guess maybe more like early this morning because I let this not run completely overnight. I slept the computer, but for about an hour last night, and then about half an hour this morning, I let this this random walk that we had created last time. It sort of ran for us. One thing I notice here is that the window is so small. I would love this to be a lot larger so we can play around with it more. Maybe not necessarily full screen, but a good amount so that we can do some cool stuff and actually see what we're doing with it. But the art actually looks pretty cool here. I could see it being nicer with the random colors, but now that we know that it's a number between 0 and 1, we can deal with that. And then lastly, this weekend I went to another Linux system because Ubuntu was just driving me crazy with being so slow with everything. And I tried Debian, just going to the forebearer of Ubuntu, and that didn't work out too well because it couldn't recognize the hardware that I have on this notebook, which is a little bit surprising, but also a little bit sad. One of the sort of rule sets, the internal rules that I have for an operating system for a home computer that is meant to be just done for home is that it needs to be able to just work off the bat with no extra work to get it installed and get it up and running. Like maybe some extra configurations for like special things, but for just general day-to-day use, yeah, I don't want it to have to take any extra time to do that. So now I've installed what is it? Fedora. I think it's Fedora 29. So I'll be trying this out for this week, and then we'll see how it goes, and then move on from there. Until then, let's go ahead and get started. My where was it? This thing. The first thing I want to do with this window is I want to make it bigger. I want to figure out how to configure this. I think I can do that off of there's some kind of like configuration system, or maybe even a configuration file that I can set. So let's go to GGEZ. GGEZ, GGEZ. And let's see if we can find anything in the examples for some kind of configuration file. I'm not seeing anything here. Okay. Maybe in the docs. Damn it! Yeah, maybe I will do that. Sorry. Thank you, Stacking. I even had it up beforehand. I looked over and saw it and didn't like come into my mind. So thank you, Stacking, for reminding me that it is not working properly. Or waiting, I can... Hold on. I can move this over here so you could all see this. All right, so... And 01 Pollock, good morning. So Stacking reminded me that having you all be able to see the desktop might be helpful. So let's go and deal with that. Mirror displays 1920 by 1080. Apply. All right. Keep. Yes. All right. I was remembering that it was bigger last time, and I wasn't sure why it wasn't, and it was because I forgot to mirror it. So thank you, Stacking. I feel like this has become our daily 901 routine. Yeah, maybe. Maybe, at this point in time, maybe the best, maybe we should write a bot to just remind me. Heck, I have that chat bot that's running on the Windows machine. I should just update it to send a chat message out to myself saying, hey, check this. All right, so this looks a little bit better. I still want to figure out how to make it slightly bigger, if I want to, at least. So I'm gonna, can I move this? Oh, no, I can't. All right, so if I move you over here. Yeah, if I could make it take up half the screen like this, that'd be a great sort of fun way to have it running while I code on it. So there's nothing in the guides. Is there a pull request for it? Oh, there is. Danny Fritz row run. The conf.toml. Okay, so here's what the file would look like. By default, a GGEZ game will search its resource paths for a /conf.toml. Oh, yeah. I noticed that now. That's interesting. It's the frame rate. It's almost like a camera that's looking at it. The frame rate of this... Oh, no, now that I'm looking at this on my system, it's flickering like that too. So it's not just yours. That is interesting. Well, I'd say the draw rate's not matching up with the frame rate. Yeah, that's what I was thinking of, but it's happening on my system, so it must be, yeah, it must be whatever. Let's see what I got here. We don't have much frame rate stuff in the display itself. We can go into the command line and sort of take a look at that. That's kind of annoying. What's interesting is that we didn't have this with some of the other operating systems that I tried. So yeah, now that I'm looking at it, it's very sort of set for that. I think it's about the same amount on the stream one. I'm going to switch over. Oh, I think it's actually slightly worse. I think it's slightly worse on the stream than it is for me. So I would have to potentially change the frame rate of change the frame rate of both this, maybe change the frame rate of just this, but to match what we have in OBS or whatever my video capture card is, because that might be the problem here, is a capture card. I am not going to worry about it right now because I don't think there's anything I can do about a frame rate change on OBS while I'm streaming. You can see in your, well, it's worse through the capture card. So I'm wondering if whatever it is just, yeah. Well, it's possible that, yeah, that's so weird. All right. Well, I'll have to think about this later. I have no idea right off the top who would be the culprit for this. Would it be GGEZ itself? Would it be my capture card is sort of not doing the proper thing with the colors? Or is it something else? Is it all the colors that's doing that too? Because I see green. I see red a little bit. And I'm only seeing the blue twitch over the other colors. In fact, that's where it's the worst, is where they're sort of over each other. Maybe it's just this system. That's so weird. All right. I'm going to try not to worry about it too much. All right, with that, let's go ahead and try getting one of these. So I'm going to view the file. So this would be just a conf.toml file in the base. I'm going to copy the. So I think it just goes right in here. Nope, don't show again. Oh, if Fedora is using Wayland, which I think it is, that's most likely the problem. Oh man. So Wayland versus, what is it, Xorg. And Xorg just has that massive vulnerability too. Which means it's time to get off of it, but also it'd be nice to, have everything work properly too. I wasn't noticing it when I was doing the capture card stuff, when I wasn't doing the capture card stuff, but the resolution changes when I do that. So it's possible that the resolution that I'm at is causing Wayland to freak out. I'm not sure. All right, so we have window mode, width 800, so height 600. So we could try half of this. What are we? We're 1080p, 1920 by 1080, I think. So we could try 1920 divided by 2. Oh, never do math on stream, right? I'll just do it on my calculator. 1920 divided by 2 is 960. And that's the width. The height is 1080. I'm okay with that. It might be slightly less to sort of fit in. We'll sort of play with that. Borderless, false, full screen type off, vsync. Ooh, we could maybe turn off vsync. I'll keep that on for right now, but we can play with that too. Min height width, min. Oh, so we could set the height so we can change it. That's actually nice. So min width, if I do something like 50 by 50, and max height. I'm also curious about 1920 by 1080. I'm curious if I do this and I change it, how will it change its oh no, I guess because I'm just handing the width and height when it first starts, that's what's going to be the art settings. Windows setup, title, an easy good game. So we can just call this a random walk. Ooh, we could give it a location for an icon. Resizable, we can say true. Allow high DPI, true. This is also something we could try setting to false. Samples 1, backend, OpenGL. All right, so there's several of these things that we can try here. And I'm wondering, so this is creating a conf toml file. By default, okay, so all I need is that existing, theoretically. I can move this over here. We're going to get rid of you. Come back to you, and we're going to run cargo run again. Can I move you to the right? No, I can't. So let's let this run for a little bit of time. Come back to you. Can I resize you? An easy, good game. So it didn't get this because it didn't get the title A Random Walk. So it didn't actually work for us. So this must not be the correct place. You don't need to be in source, do you? Let's try it. No, that didn't make an effect either. All right, let's go back. And try to find out where the that file should be. And cube. Don't see anything in here. I guess it'd be at the bottom. Oh, so there's a cargo manifest directory. We look in the cargo project for the files. So maybe it's looking there for it. That's, where is it? Hello, maybe a hello world. First, create a new GGEZ conf object which contains configuration info on things such as screen resolution. I think you need to change your load from conf and main. Ooh, okay. So that's where we have, does that have us do here? Load from conf, hello world GGEZ C. Interesting. So I wonder if there's, I kind of want to go look at load from conf, but yeah, I guess I would need to change it to be not load from conf. Maybe like load file, load from file. So let's move you, make you slightly bigger. Down here at the bottom. Okay, so here's our load from conf. If I kill this multi-line, let context equals, this needs to be a mutable reference context. Okay, so that's the only thing we have, load from conf. Tries to create a new context by loading a config file from its default path, using the conf object as a default if none is found. The game ID and author are game-specific stream. Okay, so it's gonna try it from a default path wherever that is. But where does that need to be? I guess it's not in here. I kind of want to go, here's this context. Oop, wrong one. F12. Oh, no definitions found for it. Okay, let's go to the documentation. So we'll go to crates.io. From Danny's example, but he wasn't able to get it to run. So if we go into the pull request that he has, the doc markdown link I did does not work. I'm not sure how to link to a source file in examples. And if we take a look at the files changed here, so we have the examples conf.toml, so we put it into examples to begin with, and source conf.rs. Source conf.rs. Okay, let's go take a look at that. Let's load a little bit more. The conf module contains functions for loading and saving game configurations. The conf struct is used to specify hardware setup stuff. Let's see, where does it need to be? File and load values from it when the context is created. The file must be complete. Use standard ISO, use toml, game result. Oh wait, this doesn't. Okay, I want to go take a look at the full conf. So in source, conf.rs. So we were using implementation create from create from file or something. So there's different window modes, window cleanup, window setup. Okay, so public struct conf, window mode, window setup, backend. So when we create new just on its own, it's a default from toml file. So load a toml file from the given, read, and attempts to parse a conf from it. You found it at the same time I did? Yeah. So file to read to string, mute s, so it updates the file, then decodes it from toml into whatever system they're using, and then returns that. What I find interesting, so it takes in the file here though. We're needing to set that with a context. Maybe there's something we can do in context that will allow us to sort of like run that ourselves and then pass it in the config. So context, let's see. So you can't create two contexts. Okay, so just a bunch of, is there like Yeah, so they have a pub conf. So they have their configuration there. So format debug, set window icon. Were we doing from conf? Tries to create a new context using settings from the given config file, usually called by context load from conf. Okay, let's go take a look at load from conf. Tries to create a new context by loading a config file from its default path, using the given conf object as a default if none is found. The game ID and author are game specific. Shouldn't from the function call, you could just pass the file path with it. Yeah, that's what it looks like. You can also debug print the context file system field to see what path it is searching. So what is it searching for normally? Do they hard code like a general one? So conf.toml, but that's an info print. So they're taking in a game ID, an author, and a default config, which is a typed conf. They're going to return a game result, context. Okay, so SDL context. Let mute fs file system new game ID and author. So they're going to save this to the file system. It attempts to read the configuration file. Were we getting error messages? No. So absolutely nothing was being printed out. So this stuff wasn't loading. It's neither of these. Then context from conf. Interesting. Okay. So it's like it's not really setting. Shouldn't. Let's see. What? How would we want to deal with this? It feels like it's not really. So load from conf. I'm correct. That is what we were trying to use, right? Load from conf. So context load from conf. We want to pass in the game ID, the author, and the default config. So what's this? This is the configuration conf new. So here is where we're going to want to conf new from file. So conf from toml file, and this takes in the file. It's a mute R. I'm not sure what an R is. Okay, so we do have to file. We do have to open the file first. Get the configuration file. Load a toml file from the given read. It attempts to parse a conf from it. Okay. So we have to open the file and pass in a pointer to the file. And then it will handle that, and then we can hand it. That is the configuration. I think that's how it's working. So I'll have to remind myself how to go get the file. So Rustlang file read. Okay, so we'll need standard fs file. That mute file create. Don't want to create. Read. Okay, so let file open. I could probably just pass the file in then. I think that's the idea. I think that was what we can do. So let mute. Okay, so we need to bring in standard fs file. Miguel, good morning. Joined a bit late, but what exactly will be read for my TOML file? So we're going to try to set the configuration of the game, or rather, the little artwork that we've got going here. And yeah, it's doing this little thing. We're trying to make it so like we could set it to be this entire size all the way down, or resizable at the very least. But right now it's not able to find our configuration file that we created. So we are going to have to go manually find it ourselves. So we want to do standard use. Is it standard fs file? Okay, so down here we're going to not redo the context because that's apparently the context part is fine here. So the load from conf. Instead, we need this to be the correct thing. So configuration load from here. I'm going to semicolon that. So we're going backwards now. So now we need to say let config. So it's going to be let mute configuration file, or maybe read, equals, it's going to be file, we want to open, and the path is going to be /conf.toml. And here, we're going to put configuration read. Expected immutable reference found enum standard result. Okay, so we need to dot expect or unwrap. TR Pap, good morning. How's the distro hunting go? So it's going. This is Fedora core, Fedora 29, in fact, and it's having a significant problem because we believe it's Wayland. I didn't pay attention when I was installing it to see what it actually is using, so I can check that later. But it's got a little bit of flickering, as you can see in the game engine here, and when I ran the cube example a little bit earlier, it did not look nearly as high quality as when I ran it with Ubuntu. So there is still some searching to go. All right, so now where do you have 16? Expected reference. Huh, it's like this underscore. Well, I can make you a reference. Types differ in mutability. Expected type mutable reference of anything. Found type reference to file. I want this to be how to make this a mutable reference. Or do I need to actually just do the full thing where I just create a new string and just go with that? So let we maybe call this like raw config equals string new. I'm gonna space separate this so that we can see what we're doing here. Okay, so then we want to read from the file in. Let's remind ourselves how to do that. Let mute content. So we have our string new. We have read to string and pass in a mutable reference to the contents. Oh, is that what I'm supposed to do here? Is just middle reference like that? Ooh, okay. Hold on. This might work. Let's undo you then. So we have our new configuration file. We've handed that. We're no longer getting an error. Read from file wants an R, which is a reader. Oh, is that only a nightly? That's not good if that's what it wants. Okay, so then we want to pass in configuration. Expected struct GGEZ comp found enum standard result. So that means this is an unwrap. Okay, there is nothing complaining now. So it's either going to work or just die horribly whenever try to run it. Let's give it a shot. Taking a little bit longer to compile because I changed some of that code. All right, so thread main panicked at called result unwrap on an error value. Not found, no such file or directory. Interesting. Okay, so couldn't find this, my config.toml. So I'm telling it to look at /conf.toml. That's apparently not here. Does it have to be just conf.toml like that? I guess I'm also, oh no, that was exactly it. So no slash. That's exactly half the screen too. So it's exactly the way we wanted it to be. We might want like 5 pixels less on the side. So maybe height, maybe do like 10 pixels less. So min width, min height, max width, max height. Height, let's do like 1050. We'll save this. We'll quit you and rerun. And now can I move you to the right? Yes, I can. And you go here on the left. So now we can run this and see all the pretty code, the pretty results of our codes. So that's cool that we got that. Set vsync to false. It should, okay, yeah, let's also try that. So now that we have that, let's now turn vsync off. We'll quit you. Run you again. And we'll have to wait. I'm not seeing anything right now, but it might take a little bit of time before it's sort of like they run into each other. I know that this is great. So this is a good sign. Okay, so we have this all set up. We have our, did that just reset it? That's, I feel like it just reset itself. That's weird. Okay, go back to the left. All right, so I am not Yeah, it's way faster. Although we're getting some minor weird tears or bugs in some here. Look, it's jumped around a little bit. That's definitely different. Because I don't think we have any code in here that tells it that it can jump around. We just sort of event run, and then in, where is it? Random walker. Here, game state. We have update and draw. We're just telling them to move around. So there's nothing saying they're allowed to jump. When I click, yeah, that was weird. Is it too big a framework? Is that what it is? Something reset the screen again? Possibly, yeah. I'm gonna set it to even smaller still because it's having a little bit of trouble. So I think the width seems to be fine now. The height, let's just go down to like 1000. Interesting. Okay, so I'm gonna kill you. I wonder if it's because I had it, like, was telling it to update on the right side manually, like using the automated tiling system for the GNOME. And if I come here, no, it was when I alt tab away from it, something's going on. Whoa. What are you doing? That is cool, but I don't know why it would do that. It shouldn't have multiple instances. If I take a look, there's only one of them that's running. If I hold it while moving, it's still running. When I release it, click down a bunch. Oh, that time it did it by itself. All right, what else could it be in here? When you held it, it stopped. I thought it was working. Let me hold it again, and we're gonna look at the green. So I'm moving it, and the green is still moving as I move it. And when I come back and release it, which is right now, it's still working. I click in, but I click out, and then it changes eventually. And then it changes back. That it's like it has two different states that are in there, and maybe it's like if I click on it right in the middle of its draw function, it changes how it's working. I'm not sure. I wonder if there's anything else in here that I can set. So we turn vsync to false. We can maybe say false for allow high DPI. Maybe that will work. Maybe it's trying to use nope, because that reset it just down too. Yeah, it's like there's two contexts. That is removing the min and max. All right, let's do that. We'll have this be a 0, 0. Let's reset this back to how it was when we got this. Exact same thing. We bring you over, bring up VS Code, and reset. Come back over and come back to this. So it wasn't the min or the max. Let's try turning VSync back on again, and I want to see if maybe now if that will go away. Not getting anything anymore, so it's VSync, something with VSync. So VSync is nice because it, well, turning off VSync is nice because it makes it not flicker, but it also apparently has a weird bug where it sort of switches the context if I'm clicking in and out of it. Because now it's not happening anymore. So it's a VSync problem. That's super interesting. I wonder, is there any issues here? VSync. Panic when running the examples, artifacts when rendering text. I'm not sure those are that. Tinker with the number of samples. Do we have that too in the conf? Samples 1. That's the string 1 though. So there's icon resize. I guess I could turn resizable to false. Turn VSync back to false because that's what we eventually want to get into is not have VSync on and not have these weird bugs. Oh, just right away, it already switched. Okay, so it's not that. Let's see what else it could be. Width, height, borderless, false. Full screen type off. VSync false. What if I just say, okay, samples 2? Oh, thread main packed. Couldn't find matching GLX visual. So that is not what we want. We want one to be there. Backend type OpenGL. I wonder if there's other types that we can use here. But that's a super interesting one. So I'm not seeing anything with VSync. Is there like a flicker? No. Context. Header bar and Wayland not resizing hiding. Canvases are still hecking broke. Draws upside down and doesn't draw the text object where you tell it to. But they're claiming it's fixed, okay. Canvas with multi-sampling. Yeah, I'm not really sure where I guess what I might do is we could create a quick video, and I could create a issue for it. But I'm not able to see. Is there any other pages? No, these are all the issues that are open. I could create an issue for this, and then we can use the video that we create for that, and sort of like show off what's going on with that. All right, so we have all these window modes set to what we want it to be. In fact, if I go back to, where was it? The pull request. Judging by Google searches, this is a delta time problem. Delta time problem. So the delta time is the time between each frame. And maybe as I click in, if it's exactly at the right spot, it runs into a problem. It jumps to like a different context. So that's where it's like a little bit weird to me. I can see it, everything else remaining the same, and jumping to a new spot because it didn't properly draw like that one dot right there, but I'm just placing dots down, and that shouldn't really do anything crazy. I wanted to take a look at this. I want to reset you back to default. Let's save you, rerun. No errors. And set vsync to false. This one we will have the errors. Yeah. It's like a different context where it didn't quite have all the same stuff. But some of it was drawn there, like whenever it's in a different state. Gaffron Games, fix your time step. How to choose this delta time value. In many ways, okay, so do we want to set? Well, okay. One other question that I have here is we could look at the example games that they have, although it wouldn't necessarily open with this configuration. The question is, would they have the same problems? Because we want to set this. What if vsync is disabled and the display frame rate fluctuates from frame to frame? The render produces time and a simulation consumes it in discrete delta time size steps. Yeah, I might go online and ask. I might ask Danny Fritz if he's dealt with this, because I know he's been making games recently and he's been doing some stuff with Rust. But if not that, I'm also on a I just joined the Discord, the Rust Discord, and they have a game dev section to it. Although I'm not literally on right this second, so I can't ask them right now. And maybe they'll have some suggestions for the algorithm and implementing that. But thank you, Stacking. That looks like it's going to be a good article to really actually dive into. So now what I was hoping to do is not just have this normally like this. I want to sort of break these up into sort of areas and not have a random walk, but sort of play around with having some one thing move. Although it's 7:52, I don't know how much time we have to implement something like that. So I want essentially a grid system where I can move something up, down, left, and right, and down. And so I can have it be the random walker also. But the idea will be that now I want to break these into chunks. So let's start with just making our size like 10. So we're gonna say game state walker. Okay, so our random walker has a location, a point, a radius, and a color. I want to change our radius. So new, where's our radius? Game result, random walker. Radius right here. I want to make this 15. So we're going to be a nice large. Does it look like the red is floating above the blue? I think it's supposed to, like, whatever one draws last is going to be on the top. So it kind of is going to look like they intermesh together because they run over each other if we allow this to run long enough. And I guess this is still the same problem, right? Yeah. But yeah, random walking art is actually really cool. It can generate things that look sort of kind of like smoke. Especially if you leave it long enough and you put these as low alphas and sort of let them draw in. It can be very, very interesting art. All right, so we want to have radius of 15. I want to only have one of them to begin with. And I want to do, what do I want to do? I could have multiple of them. I want it to not be a line anymore. So random walker, we have a step, we have a draw here. I don't want this to be draw mode fill anymore. I want this to now be a line. Okay, so that should be fine with that. And oh, what are you upset about? Expected enum, GGEZ, graphics draw mode, found function item. What? I thought draw mode line would be. Wait, so is line a function? Oh, line is an F32. Okay, so and here if I just do like 1.0 to be a one pixel thick diameter line or radius line probably. All right, so that works with that. Then when I draw it, okay, and then the final thing is to clear the context. Other Twitch categories are weird. I haven't really paid attention to the other Twitch categories, just a few of the games that I watch and other programming streams. Okay, so in game state, we have new, we have update, and in draw. And the first thing I want to do in draw is I want to clear it, so that way we just see these little guys moving around. There's a prank channel? Okay. That's interesting. All right, so I want to do context dot. Is there, I know there's a clear, and I just forgot. It's probably not under self. It's probably in context. All right. Present context. Okay, I am going to have to look that up in. They have plenty of these. I think it was actually in the docs, in the guide, in not Hello GGEZ, but in generative art. So in draw somewhere. Clear. Additionally, there are two other methods that we will look at. The two of these are used to show and erase the screen. Graphics, clear, pass the context. Okay, that's what I want. So it's going to be graphics, clear, and we're going to pass the context. Let me guess, it's going to return a... No, it didn't return a game result. Okay, so this will clear it. So we should now have only one of these things, one of each color roaming around. Let's see if we got it working. Yes. Although it looks like I'm gonna want to set my background because it's no longer black. It's this sort of a blue thing, and the light blue is really, really bad to see. But we can see that this is moving up and down by not a terribly, like, just, yeah, they're not the best. And I think I can change that by coming back here, and when I have them walk, so in random walker, we have them step. So instead of self-lit location minus equals 1.0, I think what I can do, because this is the walker, I have the radius. So I can do minus equals self.radius. And I kind of want to do this. Oh, here, let's you and you and you. Nope. So the plus equals, the plus equals, the minus equals. Okay. Oh, how did it get two? Okay. You. Okay. Self.radius. We'll save you. Stop you. Restart. All right. I want to see if like they're just sort of moving a little bit farther. They're not going to be as smooth. It's going to be a little bit more jerky, but we could potentially slow that down. And now they sort of move all around. Yeah, we're definitely going to want to slow this down. But this is going to be a little bit fast. I have an idea of what to do for this, which will naturally slow it down because there'll be some synchronous processes that it will be waiting for. But I think this will be pretty... I have some ideas for what to do with this. I think I sort of have like an arena type thing going on. They're all trying to escape and they can't because they keep on hitting the end. There's almost no way. Looking at the stream preview, there's the blue that's like down here on this right side. Impossible to see it. But this is pretty cool. I will tomorrow when we go through this a little bit more, I will be I don't know, like I'll figure something out to make it a little bit better. Pretty cool and trippy. Yes, definitely. But with that, it's time to head over to the ending screen. Thank you everybody for watching. It's time for me to go and get ready for work. I don't know yet what to do. I'll probably reach out and ask on the Discord channel about that flickering problem. Actually, it wasn't necessarily a flickering problem. It's like a separate context problem when we clicked in and out of the window. But we'll figure that out. Until then, I'll see you all tomorrow. Have a great rest of your day, and a good night.